Have you ever played a game in the snow? Looks like it could be some snow in the forecast.
I think I played one my second year against Green Bay in the snow, but I was on turf. But definitely as a kid growing up, played many snow football games. So if it snows, look forward to it.
When you run for 255 yards against a team, what's the approach the second time around when you play them?
Yeah, I mean, they're a way better team than they were on defense. From my opinion, watching film on them and see how much they improved, and they're playing great football on that side right now. So we know it's gonna be a challenge, and when you rush for over 300 yards against a team, they're gonna do something. They're gonna have some type of game plan to make sure it don't happen again. But our mindset is just execute our game plan, and not just against this team, but throughout the whole season. When we go out there and we're on our stuff and we execute our game plan, we put ourselves in position to be successful.
And you mentioned this defense definitely looks better on film as of late. What do you think is the biggest difference?
I thought they were pretty decent before we played them. I think we just got the best of them that day. But they fly around to the ball really well. They're up front. They're extremely good. You don't accidentally get, I think, 8 sacks or 9 sacks against Minnesota. They do a really good job with the skies and blitzes pretty well. So we know that they're probably going to want to try to get us in long distances so they can create blitzes and try to create sacks and make plays on the ball. But like I said, if we stick to what we're able to do, and obviously they're going to come out with a game plan, but get their game plan out and figure them out, we'll be all right. We're going to be all right.
Saquon, do you remember the snow game with LaShawn McCoy and them against the Lions in 2013? And have you watched that game at all? Know all about it?
Yeah, I know all about it. I wouldn't say I know it from watching it. I think once I got here, or even watching Shady, his highlights, that's probably one of his most memorable games. I think he had another one in Buffalo too when he played in the snow game. Definitely gonna call Shady, and just in case we do get some snow, see what he did, because there's no reason. It don't make sense how he was able to cut in that snow, and you could just see he was on a whole different level. But yeah, I'm familiar with it.
You often hear when you have snow games like that, accumulation on the ground that benefits an offensive run game. Do you buy into that?
I don't know. I guess at the end of the day, whether it's snow, rain, sleet, whatever it is, if we don't go out there and we don't execute, when we go against great teams like how we're playing right now in the divisional playoffs, you're going to set yourself up for an outcome you don't want. But whether it's 100 degrees or 10 degrees, if we go out there and we execute the game plan and stick to what we know and make plays that when they need to be made, we're going to be all right. So I don't think it's an advantage either one way or the other. The advantage goes to the people who go out there and execute their game plan and play at a high level.
Do you expect them to throw, because you were so successful in the first meeting, do you think they're going to throw some stuff that you haven't seen?
Yeah, I mean,
there's certain ways they defend the run.
Yeah, definitely, but they won't be the first team. We're one of the best run teams in the league. That's not by accident. The work we put in, so we know they're going to have a game plan for it. But at the same time, too, we know that the only thing that matters is winning football games. So you want to overemphasize on stopping the run. We got some pretty good wide receivers out there too that will light it up, and a pretty good quarterback that will light it up. So we're excited for the opportunity, excited for the challenge, and go against a really good team who's rolling at a high level right now. And they're going to be ready coming in and Philly, and we're going to be ready for them.
Saquon, you spent your whole life in the Northeast, so I imagine this is what you know for December, January, right? Is this the type of weather you like, or do you prefer,
yeah,
like dome stadiums?
I'd rather play on grass, so I probably won't pick dome over grass. But yeah, like you said, I've been around this my whole life, so it's nothing new to me. But like I said, I don't really buy into the weather thing. If whoever comes out there and executes is going to be the team that's going to win. So that's my mindset, and I trust in the system that we have, and I trust in the game plan that we have, and the players that we have here, and the coaches that we have. So whether it's 5 degrees or 90. We just got to go out there and execute. We're going to be all right.
I completely understand. To have the right footwear for this game. It can be slippery. You talked to Shady about what he wore during that game at all?
I haven't reached out to him, but definitely would. The beauty is G was here while Shady had that game, so he probably knows a little bit more too. So I have that up my sleeve. But wherever the weather is, I will make sure that I listen to G and Coach Singleton because I was stubborn in Green Bay, and the first 3 plays, I slipped and fell on my head. So wherever they advise, I would definitely be taking their advice there.
What were you stubborn about?
I didn't want to play in studs against Green Bay. I felt like in the warm-ups, I felt good on my footing on cutting, and then when it actually got to live bullets, 3 plays in a row, I slipped and fell. So. They know a little bit more than me in that aspect.
That was Brazil, right?
Yeah.
Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
I completely understand if you're not preoccupied or fixated on what the Rams are saying in the media, but Jared Verse is catching a number of headlines for telling the LA Times that he hates Eagles fans. What are your thoughts?
Probably not the smartest thing to say when you're coming to Philadelphia. I've been on the other side, and even if I felt some type of way, probably wouldn't give him any extra fuel. But pretty sure Philly fans seen that comment, and it was already going to be loud and rocking, so just only going to add to it.
Yeah, you were on the opposite side there. Divisional round Eagles 2 years ago. Did you catch anything that you remember from that?
Yeah, I mean, just the stuff that they would say, conversations are a little different now. Now that I have the midnight green on, but it's football. That's how I look at it. You're gonna talk crap, and it's Philly. They're nasty, they're grimy, and I think we represent that too as a team. So we look to show that on Sunday.
I think you caught some strays from BG during the toss too, right?
Yeah, BG. That and stuff like that goes a long way. Right from the beginning, you're going out there and on a towing cost, and you got BG chirping at you. For me, it made me want to play at a high level and want me to go out there and make plays. But before you know it, we were down 28-something, like 21-0 and 3 drives. So, and I remember how loud and electric the stadium was. So, we definitely got to use that to our advantage. And the way we use that to our advantage by going out there making plays and keeping the crowd, involved, which we already know they're going to be, and most important, get a win from them.
Saquon, the thought here has always been you guys can run against anyone, even when they try to stop the run. And you kind of indicated that just now before. Why is that? Why are you guys able to have that success even when teams load the box and build their game plan around stopping it?
I think it's a numbers game. When you load the box and you bring extra people into the box, it's a beautiful thing because it's hard to run and you got to be gap disciplined, and wearing the right gaps. It's hard to run against. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like myself as a back, being patient and having that home run speed. If you load the box and we get through, there's really no one back there. I feel like the coaches put us in a great position and have a great scheme around that. And then most importantly, it's the guys up front, from the tight ends to even the wide receivers blocking down the field, do a really good job of adjusting to that. And we never lose hope. There's been multiple games, where we don't really get stuff popping off until the third, fourth quarter. But it's just the belief that we have in each other that at some point it's going to happen. So I think that goes in to the reason why we've been so successful in the run game, and we look forward to continuing that too.
Saquon, when Jalen was saying the other day, early on you get like a lot of dirty yards, and then pop one and everything. Is that kind of like what you're describing, like how you guys can wear down a team with the run game?
Yeah, that's football, especially playoff football. You're not gonna, you don't go out there and expect to average 8 yards a pop every game. The way you get to 6 and 5 is by breaking long runs. You take the 2, you take the 3, you take the 4, you take the 5. You lean on them. Sometimes there might even be a cut that you can make, but you're just kind of saving on the back end because you're just leaning on them and setting up. I kind of learned that from Marshall Faulk, having conversations with him. And then before you know it, there's a big hole, and off to races, and hopefully it's not a no-ma situation and I don't got slide.
That seems to require a lot of patience, though, on your part, about getting frustrated. You only get 2 or 3 yards every other game. Is that kind of how you see it?
Yeah, I had to learn that too. I think that's probably like the biggest thing you got to learn when you're a running back in college and you come into NFL. Early in my years, I felt like that. I used to press and try to make stuff happen. But there's a time and place too. I think a perfect example of, Dallas. Everybody knew what we were trying to do and what we wanted to accomplish. And the last drive, when I broke 2K, there was more of me trying to be out there and be more creative. And it works sometimes, but I've also learned that it's not like that every time. And those guys over there are the best in the league for a reason. So trusting them and trusting Stout and trusting Kellen and trusting the system and just make sure that my alignment's right and my shoulders are square. And when my shoulders are square, I can see it all and just go.
Jalen talked about after the Rams game, well, you guys hit a lot of big plays. You struggled in the red zone. You guys were 2 for 5 in that game. What did the Rams do to kind of make it difficult down there?
I mean, it's hard to score in the red zone in this league, and they do a really good job. I think they pressure us a little bit down there. And at the end of the day, we didn't execute. When you go back and you look at plays, we could have done a better job of executing down there. We look forward to that. We look forward to that challenge and find ways to get in the end zone.
The offensive line, especially this week, has talked a lot about last week. They felt like the communication wasn't where it needed to be, and they've talked about that a lot this season. Have you seen that up and down of communication, and have you seen that maybe improve this week?
Yeah, I think I wouldn't just put it on the offensive line. I think as a whole offense, like I said, there's a lot of things we could improve on, and communication was definitely one of those things. And the way you do that is by going to practice, attacking practice, whether it's in walkthrough or whether it's live reps, and doing that and practicing at a high level. And then now we go in there Sunday and we just let it all come together. So that's the focus, and we feel like we could have done better last week, and we look forward to that challenge this week.
Not probably quite the extent of 5 inches, but we'll see what happens.
What's the operation like?
How much can you clear out? Like, what's involved in that?
It's going to be a full team effort for sure. Get the O-lineman guys out there if we need to, and brush that off, and try to clear the way.
What's the operation like in terms of that? Like, you have like a signal, or whatever. Like, say, get kicking it.
Yeah, they know. I mean, it's situational stuff that we've gone over this week already, just in case there is that situation that arises. So they know that they're kind of at my service at that moment, and we'll get it taken care of.
How much has it kind of helped practicing at the link this whole week? With the wind. I mean, yesterday obviously it was a little bit snowy.
It's always good to get over there, just kind of feel the wind and how it swirls over there. Obviously, it's an advantage for us that we have this home field and we're able to get over there during the week, and we're used to the cold elements, we're used to the wind, and so it'll be an advantage for us.
How do you feel physically? I mean, there's been a lot of talk about the missed extra point and some of the other missed field goals lately. How are you feeling going?
I feel good. I feel confident. I'm striking the ball well. It's tough to kick in the Northeast. Sometimes they don't go through, and that's what it is. I'm working my tail off to make sure I get it right, and I feel good.
What about kicking equipment, like cleats? Do they? I mean, obviously you don't.
Yeah, I'll lean in on these guys. I've tried out a couple different plant cleats this week just to make sure I feel comfortable in whatever I am wearing.
All right, cool. Thanks, Jake. Appreciate it.